The Bahrain night race ends with a roar. Hiroki crosses the finish line first, the checkered flag snapping above the asphalt. Kazuya, the reigning world champion, climbs from his car. His helmet visor is up. Disbelief freezes on his face. 6 years earlier, a 22-year-old Hiroki stood on that same podium, champagne spraying, his smile bright with promise. Then, an official notice landed on his racing helmet. Mandatory military service reinstated. Hiroki was drafted. His career vanished overnight. The bright-eyed rookie became a conscript, his head shaved, his suit traded for drab fatigues. For 6 years, the world forgot him. But Hiroki didn't forget the track.
I told you I'd be back.
But no one could explain how a driver absent for 6 years beat the world champion by 2.4 seconds. The headlines called it a miracle. Others whispered of something else. What happened in those 6 years? And why did Hiroki return faster than ever? Spring 2019. Hiroki, 22, stands on an F1 podium for the third time. The future is blazing. Then the envelope lands on his helmet. Mandatory military service reinstated. All male citizens, no exemptions.
They can't do this. I am 3 races into my rookie season.
But the state offered no mercy. Hiroki's long hair falls to the floor as the clippers buzz.
This isn't my life. This isn't where I am supposed to be.
The rookie who once beat seasoned drivers was now a conscript number. His team moved on. The grid forgot him. 6 years of training, combat, and silence. The world outside racing kept spinning.
Every drill, every mission, I imagined the finish line. I never let go.
When he finally returned, his body was honed, his mind sharpened by duties he never chose. But 6 years is an eternity in Formula One. No team would touch an ex-driver with a military file, and no recent races. Special Forces training was relentless. But one morning, a sealed military envelope changed Hiroki's path again. Classified directive, transfer to Project Ghost Drive. Report immediately, do not discuss. He was led into a sterile underground lab. A man in a white coat waited beside a bed of blinking monitors.
You have been selected for a program that will redefine human performance. Soldier, lie down.
I just wanted to drive again. What are they going to do to me?
He was prepped, sedated. Electrodes attached. For hours, machines hummed while his unconscious body lay still.
Neural integration stable. Reaction time pathways reinforced. He will be enhanced.
When Hiroki woke, a faint scar now traced his right temple. He felt different, his perception sharper, time almost slower.
They put something inside me. I can feel it.
His service ended without ceremony. The military gave him discharge papers. The scar and the secret stayed. 6 years later, Hiroki stood outside a shuttered F1 factory, duffel bag in hand, scar catching the cold light. Inside, Ayumi's team was barely surviving. Sponsors had fled. Morale was a ghost haunting the garage.
I heard you need a driver. I need a seat.
Hiroki, you've been gone 6 years. I can't gamble on nostalgia.
One test. If I'm not fast enough, I'll walk away.
You are serious. Fine. Tomorrow morning. Don't be late.
She drew up a one-race deal, practically charity. He signed without reading the numbers. The next morning, Hiroki slid into the cockpit of the outdated car. His hands remembered the wheel.
The machine feels slow, but I can push it further than they think.
Ayumi studied the telemetry numbers, her eyes narrowing. The lap time was unexpected. 2 weeks later, the season opener. Rain hammered the Bahrain circuit. Hiroki's car cut through the spray. His lap times climbed. P10, P8. Then, on his final timed run, the board lit up. P5.
P5. He dragged this junk car to 5th on the grid. We haven't seen Q3 in years.
In the champion's garage, Kazuya watched the same screen. His expression was carved from stone.
A lucky lap in the wet. Nothing more.
They think it's luck. Let them.
The paddock buzzed. A 28-year-old military returnee hadn't just qualified, he had embarrassed half the grid.
Hiroki, the media wants a quote. Something about your comeback.
I am not back for quotes. I am back to win.
The words landed like a challenge. The world champion scoffed. The rookie who vanished had become a threat. The lights went out. Hiroki launched from 5th, slicing through the chaos of turn 1. By lap 10, he was 3rd. The gap to Kazuya in the lead was shrinking with every sector.
Kazuya's line is too predictable. I know where he'll be before he does.
The moment came on lap 37. Into the fast chicane, Hiroki lunged down the inside. Their cars ran side by side, sparks flying. Kazuya was forced wide. Hiroki emerged ahead.
He braked impossibly late. No one makes that stick.
When the checkered flag fell, the margin was 2.4 seconds. Hiroki had taken his first victory. On the podium, Hiroki stood motionless, eyes fixed on the horizon. Kazuya avoided looking at him.
6 years of silence. This victory is only the first.
The crowd's silence broke into a roar. The forgotten driver had returned, and he was dangerous. 2 weeks later, Jeddah's floodlights gleamed. Hiroki started from pole position and never looked back. He controlled every corner, every braking point. Kazuya's car struggled to stay within a second.
They can study my data for months. They'll never find the real reason.
When the flag dropped, the gap was 3.1 seconds. Hiroki's second consecutive win. In his garage, Kazuya ripped off his helmet and slammed it onto the workbench. His face contorted.
No one is this consistent after 6 years away. No one.
At the press conference, the questions turned sharp. Journalists were no longer celebrating the comeback.
Hiroki, your physical condition is undeniable. But some experts say your reaction times exceed natural human limits.
I trained for 6 years. The military demands precision. That's the only explanation I'll give.
The room fell silent. The dossier of questions left unasked. The whispers were only growing louder. 3 days later, a leaked classified file surfaced. Journalist Rena held the smoking gun.
Project Ghost Drive. Reaction time augmentation. Military pilot testing. It has your unit code, Hiroki.
I don't discuss classified operations.
But behind his silence lay years of neural simulation training. Sergeant Kimura had been his shadow partner.
Reaction time target under 100 milliseconds. Normal humans can't do that. But you are not normal anymore, soldier.
Within hours, the leak reached the FIA. Social media erupted with speculation and outrage. FIA official Lang demanded a formal inquiry. Ayumi was summoned. Hiroki's career now hung on secrets.
They found the program, but not the percentage. Not yet.
You can't run from this. If you don't answer them, you'll lose everything you just won.
The investigation was no longer a rumor. It was a countdown. The next morning, Hiroki and Ayumi walked through the gauntlet of cameras into the FIA headquarters. Inside the sterile hearing room, FIA official Lang sat at the head of the table, dossier open.
We have your brain scan data, Mr. Hiroki. These reaction time spikes are 15% above elite norms. Explain.
He pressed a button, and Dr. Nakamura appeared on the video screen from a distant lab.
Project Ghost Drive was a military pilot enhancement program. Any effects were incidental to training, not a competitive tool.
They don't know the real number. Stay calm.
Answer directly, Hiroki. Were you given neural modifications? I remind you, perjury here ends your career.
My service file is classified. I have nothing to add to Dr. Nakamura's statement.
Ayumi tried to interject, but Lang cut her off with a raised hand. The room fell into a frozen silence. The FIA panel recessed. A final decision would be announced in 3 days. Hiroki's career hung by a thread. That evening, Hiroki sat alone in his driver room, the weight of the hearing pressing against his ribs. He stared at his dog tags, then at a crumpled photo, himself at 22, flanked by his parents, smiling.
They said I'd be cleared, but if I stay silent now, I am no better than a fraud.
He picked up a secured line. Dr. Nakamura's face appeared on the screen, weary but unsurprised.
The program was designed to evaluate human limits. You were cleared as a civilian asset demonstration. Use that.
You are telling me to go public. Admit to the augmentation.
The project was declassified last year. The truth is, the only weapon you have, Hiroki, the military won't stand in your way.
Hiroki ended the call. Beside him, the classified file lay open, the word augmentation stamped in red.
Tomorrow, I'll tell them everything. 6 years for 18%. Let them judge that math.
The next day, a press conference was announced. The world braced to finally hear his story. Outside the press conference hall, a crowd of veterans gathered before dawn, holding signs of support. They wore unit patches and dog tags, their faces weathered by service, just like his. Among them stood Sergeant Kimura, arms crossed, watching the entrance with fierce pride.
They gave us an edge, Hiroki. But it's still our will that uses it. Don't ever forget that.
Inside the packed hall, journalists filled every seat. Cameras aimed at the empty stage. The backstage monitor showed the restless crowd. Hiroki's hand trembled once, then stilled.
No more hiding. 6 years led to this.
The heavy curtain parted. Hiroki stepped into the blinding light, his dog tags swinging. The room fell silent. Every lens, every breath, focused on the man with the scar. He leaned toward the microphone. The world held its breath.
6 years ago, my country took my career. Today, I have returned. You ask how I am faster. I gave 6 years of my life to the military. The military gave me 18%, a neural augmentation to reaction time. The math works. 6 years for 18%. It is permanent. I am cleared as a civilian asset demonstration.
The room erupted. Journalists shouted over each other. In the back, veterans rose to their feet, clapping fiercely. For half a minute, the applause of soldiers drowned out the media frenzy.
6 years for 18%. He just gave the world an equation for sacrifice.
In his office, Lang slammed his fist on the desk, his knuckles white.
He admitted it. An augmentation. This isn't a sport, it's a freak show. The FIA will not be mocked.
I told them the truth. Now let them decide.
The truth was out. The battle for Hiroki's future had only just begun. Within hours, the world split. Headlines screamed cheat and hero in equal measure. Lang convened the FIA committee in emergency session, his face a mask of cold fury.
We cannot allow a biologically enhanced driver. Ban him immediately, or we set a precedent, destroying the sport.
But Hiroki offered a counter, a live, public reaction time test on a simulator, witnessed by medical experts.
Test me. Prove the augmentation is stable. No tricks, just the data.
The next day, in a sun-drenched plaza, technicians connected him to monitors. His brain activity spiked on cue. Crowds watched the giant screen. Reaction times consistently 18% above baseline, but perfectly controlled.
This changes nothing. The principle stands. Enhancement is enhancement.
But the public tide was turning. Veterans chanted his name outside the FIA building all night. The committee adjourned without a decision. But Lang knew the pressure would soon be irresistible. By morning, the crowd outside FIA headquarters had swollen into a sea of uniforms and banners. Hiroki's unit commander released a statement. Project Ghost Drive was a military asset. His service earned him any benefit derived from it. Inside his office, Lang stared at the rally, his jaw tight. The phone rang.
You want a grandfather clause? This sets a precedent that will destroy our authority. Yes, I understand the political implications. No, I am not deaf to the veterans.
Outside, the chants grew louder. 6 years, 18%. Let him race.
If I ban a decorated veteran, I'll be vilified. If I allow an augmented driver, the sport changes forever.
The committee reconvened under a cloud of tension. Lang's opening statement was uncharacteristically subdued.
We have been advised to consider a biological state grandfather clause. This matter cannot be delayed further.
The room was silent. Everyone understood the significance. The verdict was now a countdown. The next evening, the FIA broadcast their ruling live. Millions stared at screens, including Hiroki himself. Under the biological state grandfather clause, Hiroki is cleared to race. The augmentation is a permanent physiological state, not a competitive drug. The square erupted. Veterans threw their fists in the air, chanting his name in unison.
They cleared me. Now I have to prove them right.
But the war was not won. The season's final race would decide the championship, and Kazuya still led by 2 points.
He may be cleared, but the regulations will be reviewed. This is not over.
In the garage, mechanics finished painting his unit's crest onto the car's nose cone. A new chapter.
Your unit will ride with you now. Every lap.
For 6 years, I dreamed of this. Now the final equation waits.
The championship decider was 3 days away. The math had worked. Now came the final proof. The championship decider roared to life under twilight. Hiroki launched from third and was leading by turn 2. Lap after lap, his navy and silver car carved a flawless line. Kazuya pushed, but the gap never closed.
Every corner, every break point. I feel the track before I reach it.
On lap 42, Kazuya's rear stepped out. Overcorrecting, his car snapped into the barriers. The champion was out. From the garage, Kazuya stared at the monitor, his helmet off. For a long moment, he simply watched.
He didn't need this. I pushed too hard. He was untouchable today.
Hiroki crossed the line. The checkered flag waved. A wave of noise erupted from the grandstands.
6 years, 1 championship. The math is simple.
Veterans in the crowd held banners high, tears on weathered faces. The unit crest shone on his side pod. Hiroki stood on the top step, trophy in hand. The champion was a soldier, and the world could only watch. As the anthem played, Hiroki's eyes found the veterans in the crowd, men who understood the cost. Their salutes meant more than any trophy. 6 years were no longer a wound. Later in the quiet garage, a mechanic knelt by the nose cone with a fine brush. Slowly, the unit crest took shape, as permanent as the scar on his temple.
You gave us everything, Hiroki. Now we carry your name.
She embraced him, tears soaking his race suit. He held still, feeling a weight finally lift.
I didn't fight alone. The unit was always with me.
The unit logo would ride with him for the rest of his career, a silent partner. From that day, every race was a tribute to the years he could never get back. The math had worked. Now the symbol was set in paint. The navy and silver car, crest fixed on its side pod, became a fixture at the front. Hiroki won races. The scar faded into legend, but the number 18% never left the conversation. In veteran centers, they cheered every overtake. His speed was a kind of vindication. A soldier's helmet bore the scrawl, 6 years equals 18%. It became a motto for the sacrificed years. On a quiet morning, Hiroki and Kimura walked the empty track. No words were needed.
They won't forget what you proved.
Neither will I.
Season after season, the logo remained. Mechanics touched it for luck. Opponents feared the navy and silver blur. New recruits watched his races, seeing a man who lost 6 years and turned them into an edge. A living argument that sacrifice could be reclaimed through every trophy. The crest was the one thing he never let them change. It was his answer. The season's final race had faded. The paddock, usually alive with noise, was muted. Kazuya moved through it, his steps deliberate. He found Hiroki standing alone near the vacant podium, his navy and silver helmet under his arm, his gaze fixed on the darkening track.
Hiroki, I called you a cheat in front of the world. I was wrong. You earned every lap. I threw everything at you this season, every strategy, every lap. Your pace never cracked.
He extended his hand, the once champion, offering the one thing he'd never given a rival: respect. Hiroki regarded the offered hand, the silence stretching like a gap between worlds. Then Hiroki grasped it, firm, unyielding, a soldier's handshake. A ghost of a smile flickered at the corner of Hiroki's lips. The first anyone had witnessed. The rivalry ended in that handshake. Two champions, hardened by different wars, now recognized each other as equals. Later that evening, the grandstands empty. The track lay silent under a bleeding sunset. Hiroki and Kimura walked its length, unit caps low, their steps the only sound. Half a lap passed in silence before Kimura stopped, turning to face the scarred champion.
You paid your debt, Hiroki. 6 years. Blood, sweat, and silence. Now you've built a new life on that foundation.
Hiroki said nothing. His gaze drifted to the track, the asphalt that had been his battleground. He reached up and touched the faint scar on his temple. A reminder, not a regret.
Whatever they gave you, it's your will that wields it. Don't forget that.
Hiroki nodded. A single, deliberate motion. The weight of 6 years settled into something lighter, Side by side, they resumed their walk, their silhouettes melting into the dusk. The track stretched ahead. But for the first time, it didn't lead back to anything he had lost. The last sunlight caught the unit crest on the nose cone. It gleamed like a metal forged in asphalt. In his driver room, Hiroki sat alone. Before him, the old photo, smiling, 22, untouched by war. He placed the photo beside his dog tags. Next to them, the championship trophy caught the dim light. He looked at the trophy, then at the boy in the picture. 2 lives, 1 man. The split image of who he was and who he became no longer felt like a fracture. It was a bridge. The unit logo would never leave the car. It was his signature, carved in speed, on the empty podium. Hours later, he stood with his dog tags. The cheers were gone, but the proof remained. In the garages and grandstands, that symbol meant more than any victory. Hiroki rested his hand on the dog tags. The scar on his temple was just a line now, not a wound. The math had been settled. The equation stood. 6 years, 18%, 1 life. The screen faded to inky silence. When light returned, the circuit lay empty under a new sun. A single navy and silver car crested the horizon, its nose cone crest catching the dawn. The unit emblem gleamed on its side pod, a signature no sanction could erase. Inside the cockpit, Hiroki's eyes were calm, his hands remembering every corner before it arrived. The engine hummed not as a machine, but as a pulse, each revolution a heartbeat of reclaimed years. The asphalt stretched toward the sun, its cracks remembering the weight of a soldier who once walked here. The unit crest blazed as the car passed the empty grandstands, silent witnesses to every sacrifice. The car melted into the horizon, a silhouette against the rising sun. No finish line in sight, only finish line in sight, only forward. The world had called him a cheat, a hero, a soldier. But the track simply called him forward. The engine note faded into the morning. The math had worked. The road had no end.